Welcome back to the program, everyone. This is the Morning Brief. Let's head to the dailies now, everyone, and see what exactly the headlines are saying. Dr. Abusi Igboke is the chairman, Guild of Public Affairs Analysts, Enugu State Chapter. As always, he joins us live on the program from the core city. I'm not sure I've said Happy New Year to you just yet, Dr. Igboke. So Happy New Year to you. And how's the core city this morning?
Kelly. Good morning, Kelly. I don't know. You went on a sabbatical on the Morning Brief.
I mean, you know how you know the drill, Dr. Igboke. I mean, you're a journalist yourself. All right. So let's begin with the New Telegraph and just see how we can bring in some of the major riders this morning. It stays with, what we tried to open with on the show this morning. U.S. airstrikes, security isn't something we discuss in open market. I mean, open market in quotes, says Akpabio, the Senate president. If you look at the riders underneath that, it says Senate opts for closed door session as Ningi queries alleged NAS exclusion. Dr. Igboke, those are my concerns indeed. It's taking a certain Senator Abdul Ningi, to question why the Red Chamber and Green Chamber perhaps were excluded from information around these strikes. And then, what's the idea behind a closed-door session 1 month after the strikes, more than 1 month after the strikes occurred?
Well, I think the Senate is not playing to the gallery. Where was the Senate where people were being massacred, where the citizens of this country were being massacred by these terrorists? Where was the Senate where it seems that the Nigerian government, which is inclusive of the Senate, had no solution or had no remedy to the massacre of people? Where were the senators where people were being kidnapped, villages were being sacked, thousands of people were being buried in mass graves, and there was this pressure on every facet of our life, and then the Senate continued business. Rather, they were busy steering constituency projects and the rest. And the Senate president was busy sending some gifts to their email or something like that. So why was it that when the United States of America got tired of our complacency and they decided to strike, 1 month later, the Senate just suddenly woke up and said we're supposed to be carried along? The American government was tired of, remember there were rumors of leaks of intelligence, that sometimes our troops were being ambushed. Where was the Senate when all these things were happening? Did the Senate give marching orders to the executive to declare state of emergency on security and do something immediately? So all these things are just playing to the gallery. The Senate is pretending as if they care about us, the citizens. That is just playing the ostrich here. And then it was a covert operation. So the fewer the people that know, the better, because there have been rumors of leaks of intelligence reports and here and there. So for me, the Senate is just blowing hot air. No intelligence report will be given to that crowd of people, not even the Senate Committee on Defense. It will be a very dangerous gamble.
Dr. Igboke, I'm not sure how familiar you are with the laws as regards this. If we look at what has played out, what exactly could perhaps be the possible consequences on the executive for taking such a decision without carrying the National Assembly along?
Well, there are states of emergency. When there's a state of emergency in a sector, especially going through what we have gone through, when you don't trust some certain levels of governance, not to keep intelligence confidential, then as a commander-in-chief, you got to do what you got to do, especially when you're under pressure from a country like United States of America. Or do you want what happened to Maduro in Venezuela to happen to us here? So even United States of America, the Congress accused Donald Trump of carrying out some classified raids without their information. So sometimes these things are exigencies of the moment and emergency. But that does not remove when it comes to routine military interventions, well, those things can be passed through the bureaucracy of informing the Senate or not. But I fully support this time. I fully support that raid. And I fully support the fact that it was kept within a close circle of people. It was a state of emergency. And during the state of emergency, a lot of things happened.
Dr. Bouquet, let's stretch the argument a bit further because of the importance of the subject in focus, security. Aren't we in a more precarious position because this has been raised by an opposition lawmaker? So aren't we in a more precarious position because of the opposition thinning out, as we have seen in defections? And do you feel a sense that the federal government is trying to create a false sense of order at home as far as security is concerned, such that we do not have a repeat airstrike in the country by the U.S.?
I don't think there's any connection to the defections and what is happening here, because the defection of the Nigerian politicians in this last few months does not have anything to do with the welfare of the citizens, be it security, be it food pricing, be it health, be it education, nothing. It's just for self-perpetuation and whatever agreement they have with the president. Some of them are seeking for automatic tickets. Some of them want to consolidate their return to power. Some of them want to ensure that when they get out, that they are not witch-hunted by some people like the EFCC and the ICPC. A lot of reasons are adduced for cross-carpeting, but never for once think that one of the reasons is for welfare of citizens.
Well, do you feel a sense that the federal government is trying to create a false sense of order, such that we don't have a repeat of airstrikes on home soil by the US?
It is no longer in the hands of the federal government. The federal government had all these years to ensure that they stemmed the tide of these terrorists inflicting death in a wanton proportion on our people, but they didn't do it. So the federal government it's not even the will of the federal government, this thing that is going on now. It is beyond the federal government. A superpower under the aegis of United States is trying to make this a global issue. It's trying to make it that it is a genocide. That once genocide is invoked in a global diplomacy, it means that you may lose the authority to act in some of these ways. So the federal government is frantic. They're not even doing this according to their own plans. Because if it was according to their plans, they would have routed these terrorists a long time ago. So for anybody to say, oh, well, it seems the government wants to have sense of order and the rest. What is happening now is that the federal government is trying to do everything possible to ensure that the Americans are trying to start to believe them that they want to do something to tackle the insecurity. Every other thing is in the realm of speculation. The Nigerian government is not very palatable with the issue of the threat issued by the American president, and they are trying to do everything possible for that. Every other thing comes secondary to this.
All right. Fair argument. Let's head now to the Guardian newspaper as we look at another matter of national importance. And the Guardian looks at the power sector this morning. Take a look at the headline. Despite demand, 2.5 million meters may rot away as FG discos trade blame. Of course, details are on page 5. We do have a sense of what the Guardian is trying to help us understand this morning beneath the big headline. You see in a box there, funding for metering initiatives. World Bank loan 2023, $155 million for 12 million meters. A World Bank credit to 2024, $500 million for financial technical support. You see another there, 21 billion naira funded via tariffs. That's for meter assist financing. Presidential metering initiative also put at 700 billion naira. I could go on and on there, Dr. Bouquet. Still, we have a huge challenge of, a very remarkable difference between capacity and what is put out and generation. And we also have a very big challenge with power grid collapses. And despite legislation, we also have, a lack of intervention significantly at the subnational level in looking at alternative sources of power. What exactly is wrong with our power sector?
I think the answer to your question, straightforward, is that nobody is held accountable. Nobody has been made to pay for the rots in the power sector. Remember the $16 million issue for the IPP? You remember also that in 2016, I think 2015, 2016, the CBN doled out some billions for intervention in the power sector. Now, I don't think that was captured here. Okay, what did this power sector, the owners of this power distribution companies or generating companies do with the money? Then we had here again. Remember, as far back as the time, I think Mr. Fashola was governor of Lagos State, there was this issue of having a meter producing company in Badagry. I still remember that vividly. What has come of that? The issue of metering has been a sore point in our electricity sector. Why? Because some people make more money. Some people just make more money when they don't have when you are not metered because of estimated billing. So they prefer that you pay for what you don't use, what you didn't use. They prefer that they come every month, look at you and slam you with a cost. According to that, they read it from the power you take from the transformer, and they distribute the money across the people who use that transformer. So whether you're at home, whether you travel for 3 months or not, it doesn't matter. You just, it is fixed. You pay. So that has been a pattern. And therefore, some of the distribution company, you can see that the way they adjusted their meter, the meter that used to run, they used to pay 10,000 for a month. Now, some people are paying 60,000 in bad A for a month. They adjusted the meter to a speed of 100 kilometers per hour. So those are the people get away with this kind of malfeasance, and there's nobody to account for it. So money will keep on going down the drain in our power sector because we are not ready to really tackle that sector. Our grid is getting old. Some of those grids were installed in the 60s after we have done the Kenji Dam. And I think the Kenji Dam was commissioned either 1968 or 1969. And after that, all our power grids, there are no serious efforts to really upgrade them into the modern infrastructure. And then when you talk of alternative power, alternative power in Nigeria now, what we do is just we do solar light, we do solar boreholes. I mean, the pedestrian activities in that sector. We have not really tried to see how we can do a broad roadmap for off-grid solutions. Because when we load all our electricity demand on grids, then we're having a problem. What happens to where the grid lines do not pass through? So the government is not even making an effort to ensure that happens. So off-grid solution, most of our off-grid solutions have been funded by external bodies, multilateral organizations and the rest. Is that how we're going to survive as a country? And so we are not ready yet. And in 2026, we are still celebrating 5-7 megawatts of electricity, while countries that have our population are celebrating 80,000, 100,000, over 100,000 megawatts of electricity. People like China and another continent, another level entirely. So why are we still down there? Because money is dropping down, and nobody is being accountable for it. So until we are ready to improve in our power sector, we shall continue to be in darkness.
Dr. Bouquet, well, I'm not sure how that phrase will be received in some quarters. I tell you what, I'm just seeing the back and forth between Mr. Peter Obi and Reno Mokri. I'm seeing some basbos, as we refer, or we call it in this part of the world, between both over this issue. Reno Mokri having to cite the fact that even in the US, there are issues around power outages and all of that. And Peter Obi, of course, always with data armed, questioning the ruling party over issues around power. But let's stay with The Guardian for just a moment. Top right of that newspaper stays with issues around politics and elections. Top right of The Guardian newspaper. Perhaps two issues in one, Dr. Egboke. Senate to debate Electoral Act Amendment Bill today. Senate to debate Electoral Act Amendment Bill today. Issues around transmission of results electronically, Dr. Egboke. And then you can also just speak on the fact that Rabiu Kwankwaso has been speaking following the defection of his political godson. He says, I am still shocked by Yusuf's defection to the APC. I am still shocked by Yusuf's defection to APC, says Kwankwaso.
For the senators, for me, my scorecard for this Senate is very disappointing. The Senate of this other distant Senate is very disappointing. In fact, it's sad that we have this kind of Senate where we are supposed to be projecting how to move this country forward. A Senate that sits down knowing that an election, after the 2023 election, after they have been sworn in June 2023, actually knows that another election is coming up in 2027. They have all the time to initiate a bill. They had 2023, they had the whole of 2024, they had the whole of 2025. They had half of 2023 from June to December. 2.5 years. You didn't do anything about electoral reform, about the bill. Then, just a year, 12 months to an election, INEC has released tentative timetable, where political parties has already fixed their congresses and what to do with their primaries. You are still debating about how to, enact a law that will run an election that is coming out. In fact, most of the congresses will take place this year. That's coming up in a short, in a period of 6 months or 7 months for some parties. That goes to show that this Senate is not serious. Because how else do you explain the fact that they waited to January to start debating? We are already, next week is February. So we are talking about passing electoral law. And if this law is actually accepted to and passed, imagine the kind of waste we will incur by changing timetables, maybe printing ballot boxes, some of the ballot papers, some of the parties that have put their primary date or congresses, they will start rescheduling. A lot of logistics is going to take place, and it may finally affect the the electoral process entirely. And so it's shameful that we are saying this. But in the substance of the matter, we need to correct some of the anomalies in the 2023 in the Electoral Act that we went to do the 2023 election, where that clause that allows INEC to decide whether to transmit directly or to do it the way they like, I think that place should be abolished. It should be transmitted online, real time. And as we are told, the BIBAS also have a way that it can store offline if there is no network, and when it comes to a network, it automatically uploads, and that is what should be done. But when you give INEC some leeway, when you insert a clause that INEC will use to do whatever, one man or a team of 10 men can sit down somewhere and decide what to do with the rest of our country, is not fair on us as citizens. Then as for Alhaji Rabi Kwakwanso, he has tried, he has held on to his Kwakwasia movement for a very long time now. I mean, it has become a formidable movement, but somehow he has been having issues with his successors recently. But he always come out. He's a former deputy governor. Later he came back. Later the APC won. Later he won them back. But I just think that this thing is a political brouhaha between Godfather and Godson. Something tells me that these people planned this defection and to have balancing, so that one leg will be in APC, the Kwakwasia movement will still be there, NNPP will still be there, and I can run this in a mix. I'm not fooled by all this shenanigans happening. These things are worth of thoughts.
That's okay. I mean, it's interesting to hear you say that. It's politics, you know.
Politics colors and shapes everything, almost everything that we do.
Absolutely. And even the attempt by the Senate, perhaps, maybe to stall or delay issues around electronic transmission of results. I'm thinking if perhaps it's a deliberate move, it's a smart move, it's a strategic move. I mean, you know how this works, Bukola.
I thought that they'll tell us there's no time, that they tried to do, but there was no time.
Oh, my word.
So we should also be interpreting delays as perhaps a matter of politics as well. As we wrap up now.
Delays are tactical.
All right. We won't forget that, Dr. Ibuke. As we wrap up now, let's head to Daily Independent, which takes a departure from politics and the economy and takes a look at, what affects perhaps 80 to 90% of Nigerians. Weak enforcement fuels quiet motor insurance crisis. We've seen this play out for much of 2025 when the police began enforcement of the insurance a component of vehicle papers for motorists. We wonder if that has been sustained or that has quietly gone under as well. But the matter of insurance is a very controversial one, as a lot of Nigerians may not understand the requisite papers that they should have. Perhaps you want to give us some education, Dr. Ibuke, on what we register as motor vehicle insurance, but what we should have really as insurance in case life happens.
Well, I think in the entire insurance sector, there's a problem. There is not enough sensitization for Nigerians. A lot of us don't even understand what this insurance is all about. Some just get taught motor insurance to run away from the harassment of first law enforcement officers. That is why many people get it, not because they want to insure their vehicles. Comprehensive insurance has gone, has dived a little bit lower. Most of the time, it's corporate entities that do comprehensive insurance for their vehicles. Most individuals just do the third-party insurance. And doing the third-party insurance, they don't even know that it is for if you have damaged a third-party vehicle, another person's vehicle. So the insurance covers it. So most of them, when they see a third-party insurance and they have a brush or an accident or something with somebody's vehicle, the person will call his motor mechanic and say, how much is this thing? Oh, okay, they'll haggle and say, okay, I will pay. Meanwhile, the insurance covers that. And a lot of times, the insurance companies are complicit. They have kept quiet while a lot of things happen. So apart from the motor insurance, also there are a lot of other insurance companies too that they do some things that are not very unethical. For example, somebody, an insurance company I'm working with, told me that I was on my own. They sent me email and so that their voucher for patronizing them. They said they were going to give a voucher of 120,000. When they got back to me, they said they made a mistake. It was going to be 10,000. These are the kind of things. We don't have class actions. So you go to the bank, for example, they tell you, you stay 30 minutes, 1 hour, nothing is happening until you ask. So they will just tell you offhandedly, oh, our server is down. We cannot pay you money. And these are breach of contracts that when I put my money in your bank, I need to get it. When I put my insurance, when something happens, you are supposed to pay me. But some of the insurance companies start playing hanky-panky with you. Some of the insurance companies will put brick wall on before you access anything. And that's why many Nigerians don't care a lot about insurance. So for the insurance companies themselves to wake up, they need to do a lot of. There's an association called Nigeria Insurance Association. I don't know what is happening to that entity, but they need to take it a bold step now to begin to sensitize Nigerians more on what they need to gain. And insurance companies themselves should please wake up and stop pulling the wool on our eyes. Third-party insurance is good. It's not only for to escape law enforcement agents, and also comprehensive insurance is good. But Nigerians now, they cover everything with the blood of Jesus.
Dr. Ibuke, I'm almost tempted to respond from this end here. Oh my word! So many talking points on the dailies today. I mean, there's the story around Soludo threatening to shut down markets in Anambra State. There's a story about NNPCL increasing pump price, but that's get to take a look at something really very interesting because it's a fallout of the continent's biggest football showpiece. CAF has now rolled out an official statement making some declarations, sanctioning some, making some suspensions, and all of that. Let's see how we can put this up for our viewers to see, and then let's see perhaps what we can make of this, Dr. Ibuke, because Morocco, the host nation, we're actually asking CAF to strip Senegal of the title. That was rejected by CAF. But take a look at the suspensions here. We see That's the coach of Senegal has been suspended for 5 official CAF matches. He's also been fined $100,000 for bringing the game into dispute. Now, players Iliman Ndiaye and Ismail Assar have also been suspended for 2 official CAF matches each for supporting for unsporting behavior towards the referee. The Morocco Football Federation as well received a fine of 200, maybe I should say just $200,000 for stadium ball boys inappropriate behavior, $100,000 for improper conduct of players and staff invading RRA, $15,000 for the use of fans, lasers, totaling about $315,000. There are more suspensions, Dr. Eboke. Africa's finest player, one of the finest players and defenders, I admire him a lot, Ashraf Hakimi, captain of the Moroccan side, suspended as well for 2 official CAF matches for unsporting behavior, one of which is suspended for 1 year, and then Ismail Sabari suspended for 3 official CAF matches for unsporting behavior, and then he's also fined for $100,000. Is this justifiable, Dr. Eboke? Is this fair?
Well, CAF should watch it because CAF has shown, repeatedly that it is not an unbiased umpire. We saw the Nigeria's match against Morocco. We saw all the shenanigans that took place there. CAF did not sanction Morocco. Morocco in this competition behaved as if because they are the hosts, they must win the competition at all costs. That they must take the cup winners at all costs. And they demonstrated that. And they behaved as if they were above the law. In the pitch, off the pitch, the welfare of other team members, making Senegal travel by train, by road, mixing with other passengers, not even giving them their own buses. They have been accused of putting people in shabby hotels, shabby treatment, and they made them travel all the way from Jabba or something to come and play in the headquarters. It is unfair, and CAF just looks away, and that is the unfortunate thing about this thing. You are giving a coach 100,000 naira fine, and you are giving a whole confederation, the Football Federation of Morocco that could not control his own people, $200,000. You see the unfairness in it. I think Senegal should just appeal to the football arbitration, panel to see how they can obtain those this thing, because I know that CAF is not being fair. CAF should watch it. The referee that I'm surprised that the referee that did the final match did not get a rebuke or did not even get a sanction too, because you can't even officiate like that during Nigerian league. I mean, people, the goal that was disallowed for a minor push in the penalty area that was disallowed, you didn't question that, but you are questioning people who were protesting injustice. And so Africa should watch it. And they were even lucky that that walkout did not end the match. Otherwise, it would have been a very great dent on the image of African football. CAF itself should rejig, and the running of CAF has been left a clique of people who don't take African football seriously, but are there to just for their self-gratification.
Dr. Boko, we have to leave it here. I like the fact that you say that Morocco wanted to win. I mean, some have joked about the continent's football and the fact that it looks like for every country that does host the tournament, you have to win. Cote d'Ivoire won it. And if you check down memory lane or open the history books, it's always that way, that you host and then you must win. But we must leave it here. Some also argue that maybe the Nigerian player should have perhaps put up this kind of display as we saw the Senegalese do, but well, let's not go there.
But you know, my relief is that the trophy stays with Senegal in all of this. You know, I recall that the chairman, the Sports Commission, did say here that Senegal learned from Nigeria in that activism that was displayed on the pitch that day. So I wonder
if that cup was taken from Senegal,
yeah,
then I think many countries would have boycotted the future editions of the CAF of AFCON.
Indeed.
Let's not forget the investments that Morocco has made in football. They hosted a female tournament last year as well, which the Super Falcons won. They hosted a male. That is a lot of money, Dr. Iboke, and they're going to host the AFCON again this year. Well, let's not go there because CAF says that no other African country has showed or indicated interest in investing such monies to host this event. So I'm a bit with Morocco on this one. But let's leave it here. Dr. Iboke, Dr. Angus Iboke is the chairman, Guild of Public Affairs Analysts, Enugu State Chapter. As always, thank you for your time, your insights and perspectives on the program.
Thank you very much for having me on the show this morning.
Well, this is the morning brief. We're done with the national dailies now. Up next is our very first conversation. And guess what? All eyes are right here in Makoko, Lagos, Nigeria. Why is that so? We'll tell you just why in just a moment. Please stay with us.